Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Conor Cardenas. And just to get into it real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of Caffeine and Green, Seven Seas Roasting Company, Thorn Street Brewery. But unlike every other podcast, today there is no guest. And unfortunately, a lot of the face-to-face audio is going to be put on hold because of the current situation of the world right now. So I'm just going to play the intro music, give you a little rundown on what to expect with the podcast moving forward. And yeah, without further ado, here we go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. And we are live. So what's poppin', world? Just wanted to, I've been, what can I say? I'm at a loss for words, honest to God. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to really start this. To be 100% honest with you, I've been in quarantine myself since the 13th of March. So it's been quite a while now. But I mean, I've gone outside, I've gone on runs, I'm doing my thing, trying to keep my mind going. But I wanted to share with y'all kind of the ups and downs that I've been going through, just being kind of cooped up and isolated. But more importantly, I wanted to see how y'all are doing out there and hopefully give you some encouraging words. And also at the same time, kind of let you know what's, like I said, what's to come from Caffeine and Green, because I battled with the thought of possibly shutting the show down. And I didn't even know. It wasn't necessarily that I wanted the show to stop or I wanted to stop doing it. It's just because, if you've been listening, the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, it's been Caffeine and Green on the road, been going up to LA every weekend, making, great visits up there to see some old homies, some new homies. And I personally started battling with like, oh my God, what am I going to do next? But I like any other person, the show must go on, despite the fact that I'm in my room or I'm in my apartment and just trying to figure out the next step. I definitely had some down days. I definitely had some days where I had some pretty negative thoughts, and I also have had some amazing highs. Like the first 4 or 5 days I was in my room, I was pumping out content. If you've been following on my Instagram or even like my personal page, I've been pumping out little 1-minute videos and just trying to keep busy. But then the reality set in. It's like, yo, the world is going through some heavy changes right now. A lot of people are going through it, man. And I'm here with y'all. And I don't know if it was like the reality of that, the reality of I myself not working. Seven Seas has been since shut down till further notice. Other ways I supplement my income have all been shut down. So, I went through some super dark thoughts for a minute there. And it was honestly just, I woke up yesterday and I said, dude, I just got to keep going. Like I gotta keep doing this, well, let me rewind actually. It was last week that I decided, hey, I need to do the podcast still. It doesn't matter. There's other ways we can make this poppin'. It doesn't need to be face to face. We can still talk to people through seeing them, through technology, what we have going on today. So I reached out to my good friend, Quantal Langford. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. And he told me, yo, reach out through Zoom, do that damn thing. And I did. And it was great. And I've had a podcast that I'm publishing later today, March 26th. It's going to be Jeremy Outlaw, which is a new rapper out of South Central, up and coming. So shout out, be on the lookout for that. And then just today, I did a new podcast with my homie Chris Colburn. He's a professional skateboarder for Element Skateboards, New Balance shoes, Mountain Dew. And again, through video conferencing. Like the show must go on. But I will say, it's still taking me a little bit of time to wrap my head around that. And I think it is really hard, and I'll be the first to tell you, like, I don't really talk about this a lot, but I'll be the first one to tell you is that it is really, really hard for me to take that leap, even though like I have no problem talking and even doing, taking new ventures on. Doing this was super scary for me to make it all YouTube and not really focusing so much on the audio and just trying to get out content and still keep everything going, but still also at the same time, I mean, I know so many of you out there are just bored, and so many of you out there are just like, what, WTF, man. And so hopefully, you guys can look past the audio quality on some of the YouTube because it is through Zoom. But, once this is all said and done and we're able to, to get back to a normal-ish life, the show will go the show will continue to go on, and we'll get, things cracking again. But more importantly, I just wanted to share with you guys that it's like, everybody seems like they're staying pretty positive via Instagram, and everybody's doing like that. But I mean, me personally, it definitely has been some highs and lows just this last 2 weeks. And, we're set to be doing this thing for quite a bit longer. So who knows? But just got to stay busy, man. Just got to keep the mind active, do some workouts in the room, go outside, go for a walk if you need to. I mean, social distance, of course. But, I also wanted to give a huge shout out to all my listeners in Europe. I mean, the numbers have been growing since this whole thing has started, and Europe has definitely started to listen to Caffeine and Green a lot, and the numbers have been doubling. So thank you to all you listeners out there, and please, y'all, just stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay quarantined. Hopefully you guys are getting through it. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. Hopefully you're able to laugh. I mean, for me personally, that was another thing that's helped me get through that. Laughing every day, honestly, all day, every day, FaceTiming with my homies. Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy, y'all. I mean, I don't know if y'all have people to kick it with, maybe a close couple homies, or if you have people that you're living with. I mean, personally, me, I'm by myself, in my apartment, and it's like I said, you can get left to some crazy thoughts sometimes. And yeah, I mean, so for anybody out there who's just by themselves, kind of twiddling their thumbs, shoot a DM to me, hit me up. If you need a FaceTime, just DM me. I'll shoot you my number. We could FaceTime. We'll chop it up. We'll have a little impromptu podcast. Not really a podcast, but I'll just chop it up with you. But yeah, and I mean, I just want to say thank you to my friends who are still down to do the podcast, who are still down to have conversations. I mean, today, like I said, I had Chris Colburn on, had a 2-hour conversation with my man. It was so awesome just getting to catch up with friends. And then, shout out to Jeremy Outlaw. Never met him, still haven't met him in person, but, I had an 1.5 hour long conversation with my man, and it was just so real, so such good vibes, super positive. And, I mean, I know it looks grim right now, guys, for everybody around the world. New York, Europe, United States, South America, everywhere. We're all in this together, yo. And we have to just stay positive. And I really, really hope that when all this is said and done, that we're all going to come together instead of being divided. Things might be a little hesitant at first, but eventually we'll be able to get back to that, that vibe where you see the homies and it's just a fat ass dap up, or yo, let me get that hug, son. Yo, what's good? What's really popping? And yeah, I mean, that's really all I can hope for. And again, like I said, shout out to all my listeners in Europe, man. Just stay safe. All my listeners around the country, please stay safe. And just moving on a little bit, just to wrap it up here. As far as the podcast goes, I am going to be moving most of it to YouTube. That's going to be starting today and moving on until the quarantine ends. And so, if you haven't already, head over to the Caffeine and Green podcast. It's just Caffeine and Green podcast on YouTube. You'll see some of my new videos that I've been uploading on my Instagrams, on my social media platforms. And then also you're going to start seeing all the visuals. And now, again, like I said, they're video conferencing. So the audio quality that you guys know me for, it's going to be a little less audio quality, but you still hear everything and everybody, the vibes are still there. The good times are still had. And just check it out on YouTube. There's going to be links on my Instagrams, It's a Gucci Thing or at Caffeine and Green. And just let's keep it going, y'all. Stay positive. And if you're like me that are just like posted for the whole remainder of this quarantine, like I said, reach out. I'm always here to talk. I'm always here to listen. I definitely like doing both. And I'm here for y'all. And again, for all of you people who continue to listen to the podcast while you're at home, bored, or doing whatever you need to do, working out, doing the damn thing, thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough. And please, for everybody, just stay safe. I know I've said it a bunch, but just stay safe out there, y'all. I don't want any of you guys to get sick. And like I said, when this is all said and done, come through, slide through, we get a cup of coffee, and let's just talk about how crazy all this shit is, man. We're living through what they're going to be putting in history books, yo. If they're still having history books, like our history tablet by this point. But thank you. Thank you to all you guys. I really appreciate everything. And, just take care, y'all. Much love. I love you guys. Peace.